everybody, this is Troy with Breakthrough Coaching here. Today I want to discuss the topic of overwhelm. If you're like me, you've probably been through periods in your life, you're probably going through it right now, I know a lot of people are, where you're experiencing overwhelm. And I want to discuss what exactly that was, how it can affect you, how it can get in the way of your goals, and also how to manage that. So, first of all, it's important to know that overwhelm is really one of the biggest factors that inhibits people reaching their goals. Okay, it's one of the biggest factors that contributes to avoidance, procrastination, and a lack of motivation. Okay, so it's important to make sure we recognize this and do what we can to fend this off. Okay, so what exactly is overwhelm? Okay, overwhelm is a feeling that we'll get when we have probably too many things going on at once. Okay, it's not necessarily reality, but it is the feeling that we get. Okay, so if we got multiple things on our plate, and realistically it's when we have it all kind of kept up in our head rather than kind of keeping it outside of ourselves, then it can begin to get kind of confusing. Okay, so one thing comes and we kind of tuck it in the back of our mind, another thing comes and we kind of tuck it back in the back of our mind, and we kind of get going with things that we have to take care of right now. And what we're really doing is we're holding on to these things in the back of our heads, and it starts to get really confusing and cluttered, and it all sort of lumps together in a big ball, and that's when the feeling of overwhelm starts to come. Okay, so we need to make sure we can get this out of our minds and present it in a way where it's very clear. Okay, typically we don't have a tremendous amount of things going on once we do get it out of our minds and recognize what all these to-do list things are that we have to get done. But when it's all kind of up in our head and stored away, it can seem daunting and overwhelming. Okay, so with that said, what we really need to remember is that if living in the present moment, if we're here right now, there realistically is only one thing you can do, and that's the next indicated or the indicated action that you can actually take right now. Okay, and if we can keep that in mind, it can make this whole process go a lot smoother, because once present, we can do that indicated action and then move on to the next action. The issue is when I'm trying to be present and work on a task or check an item off my to-do list, I've still got these other things kind of confused in the back of my head as I'm trying to do this task. What that does, it can cause the overwhelm and ultimately lead to a lack of motivation and procrastination and task avoidance, right? And what this does, it ultimately inhibits us from reaching our goals. If we've got a very clear roadmap on what our goal is, okay, and we have it outlined very clearly what the steps are to get to that goal, and these might be multiple goals, okay? We might have some personal goals, some career goals, relationship goals. We might have multiple things going on at once, and it's all stored up here. We gotta get it out of there, okay? Get it on paper. Get an actual list. Get a calendar. Put this stuff out there so you don't have to store it in the back of your mind as you're trying to be present and take care of what you need to take care of today. It will clear it out. I guarantee you this. Once you know and you can trust in yourself that you've got all the items that you need to take care of in the near future on paper, or in your computer somewhere or in your phone, then you're free. Then you're freed up to take care of whatever first step it is that you need to take care of right now. And I will tell you, at least for me, and maybe for you too, when that freedom comes, where the overwhelm is gone, it makes it so much easier to take that first step. You can clearly see it, and the motivation to get just that first step done is so much more when we don't have all this confusion in the back of our mind, because what it does is it confuses us and makes us think that this first step is part of this big thing that we got to do. It's really not. We can chunk this thing into little pieces and really bring it down to right now, in this moment, I can take care of this item, and it is one step along this path to get to this goal that I have in the future. And I've got other items for other goals, but they're on paper somewhere, and I don't have to worry about them right now. I can trust that I will get to them when the time comes. This will save you a lot of mental anguish, a lot of anxiety, and in addition to overwhelm, there are other factors that inhibit our motivation. There are other fears, fear of failure, other anxieties we might have due to past trauma and whatnot. We do have to address those things. It is important to clean house, take care of ourselves, take care of our bodies, eat right, exercise, do all the things that we need to do, take care of our mental health. If we clean house and do all those items to get ourselves into the best shape that we can, then we can focus on building that roadmap, making sure we have all the steps necessary outlined for ourselves. Then all we need to do is step back, look at what needs to be done now, and start checking these things off one by one. You do this, before you know it, you are down this path and you are making success. You are becoming successful and reaching that goal that you're striving for. So this is just a little tip on how to deal with the overwhelm. You got to take care of yourself, get it out of your head, get it on lists, get it on the calendar, make sure you're on top of your mental health. That's really it. And if there's other things, if you do this and you're still struggling to find the motivation, and you notice avoidance, something like that, then it's important to talk to somebody and really dive into it and find out what's going on and where the lack is and what area of help you need, and address that. You don't want this thing to go on too long, because you've got places you want to go and things you want to do, and now's the time to do it. Okay? So anyways, that's my talk on overwhelm. I hope it was helpful, and thank you all for listening.